reality is manifested through our physical lives all the time. We are physical and spiritual existence. Because I've seen that who we are, what we do, and what we get in life, how we live our lives, is determined first spiritually by what we believe, and then manifested physically. It comes into our life, it becomes reality. The spiritual self and the physical self are like two sides of a tuning fork. They vibrate on the same frequency together. What is real in the spirit becomes real in the body. And what is real in the body becomes reality in our spirits. So, like if I say, don't think about elephants, right? That's not a good example because you're not going to find any elephants in here. But if you play golf, you have to know that there's a part of the golf course out of bounds. You're not supposed to hit the ball. So when you shoot your ball, and you say to yourself, for God's sake, don't hit the ball over there, then immediately the ball flies off in that direction. Because inside of you already exists the fear of hitting the ball that way. Ben, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, I know that. Inside of you exists the fear of hitting the ball that way. The potential is already there. And once you give it a little bit of energy, it's up and running. Right, Carol? Carol. Our beliefs determine how we experience everything that happens in our world. And among our beliefs, the strongest one wins every time. So what we hold to be true in our hearts and gut becomes our reality. Nothing comes into our lives unless on some conscious or unconscious level we allow it to happen. A good example is when you buy a lottery ticket, do you really expect to win? No, most people don't. But we try. I am responsible for everything that happens in my life because I am free to choose what I think and believe. It's like planting a garden, a beautiful garden outside now, right? Big difference from how it's been for the last 5 years, but we have a choice between selecting the seeds we want to plant and where we want to put them, or just let the wind blow and bring the weeds in and cover the ground with the confusion. That's our choice. We consciously plant, nurture, and harvest the thoughts we want, or we unconsciously go along for the ride with the fallen walls thinking and harvest all the drama and nonsense that comes with that. The question I have is, which thoughts do I want to plant in my mind? Of course, should probably plant the thought that I will win the lottery. That would solve a lot of my problems. I'm sure you too. But I don't think it's that significant. I think when we look deeper, our more important thoughts, that the things that will really make us happy, the things we really want, are more spiritual, not physical in nature. And the reason for this is that there is a God, and He is the creator of everything, including us. And God created everything, including us, with a purpose. And if God gives you a purpose, God gives you the equipment to fulfill that purpose. Guaranteed. God created us with a spirit to relate to God and a physical body to relate to the physical world. So a healthy human being has to be like a tuning fork, with God on one side, me on the other. When our spirits are on God's frequency, then our bodies will naturally be on God's frequency. The world we create, the world we live in, will also be on God's frequency. Our true identities come from God, and our true happiness comes from God. But human beings, we know, are struggling and suffering because we cannot feel God. We don't experience God's living reality. Does anybody know what I'm talking about? Of course, we'll never be satisfied with who we are Because without God, our true identities cannot be realized. Because of the fall, when people have been separated from God, we are all like tuning forks, with everyone vibrating on their own individual frequency. And we don't see nations vibrating in harmony. We don't see races vibrating in harmony. We don't see religions vibrating in harmony. We don't see employers and employees vibrating in harmony. We don't see husbands and wives vibrating in harmony. We don't even see individuals vibrating in harmony. That's the tragic situation of the world. And that explains the history of mankind, the suffering of the history of mankind. Everybody's looking out for number one. Everybody's vibrating on their own individual frequency. Everything that fallen men do is on individual frequency, and no one is connected to God. So how does this false logic work? What are the results of this kind of situation? Well, this doesn't work very well unless you happen to like wars, poverty, crime, broken families, drug abuse, everything. So we have a choice. I can accept and follow this false thinking, or I can consciously choose something different. Right? Well, actually, it's not really that easy, is it? The reality is, I know a lot of people try, but the reality is that our fears and our pains and our struggles are usually very real to us. And the negative is our strongest belief. And the negative too often becomes our reality. What I have found is that we all need a little help if we want to truly change that inner world, that spiritual world. But I'm not talking about positive thinking. I'm talking about getting connected to a living God and vibrating in resonance with that God, so that I will naturally be a person who is patient and kind, without boasting, without pride, without envy or anger, a person of faith, hope, love. So, where are you going to get that kind of help? I got some help right here. What do I got right here? That's divine principle. Or the words of Reverend Moon.
Yes.
That's where we really get connected. So I don't always get it right. I can tell you that. And I don't always have the answer. Usually that's not true. But when I read divine principle, when I read Father's words, I am always connecting to God's Spirit right away. So let me give you an example. This is a passage from one of Reverend's speeches. Everyone, even little children, wants to have a peaceful mind. But if everyone wants it, why can't they do it? There was one giant obstacle to calming the mind. You. Everyone reasons after centering on himself first. When you see, hear, think, and act, either consciously or unconsciously, you do these things with yourself at the center. That's what creates the overwhelming obstacles. And until that is changed, there is no way you can break down the barriers. The moment you reduce yourself to nothing and move yourself out of the picture, the job will become infinitely easier. When you center on yourself, you're building more and more hills and rugged mountains within your mind. The ultimate problem lies within oneself, not somewhere outside. When Jesus was asked where the kingdom of heaven can be found, he replied, "It is in the midst of you." So, you need words like that. You need vision. You need to know how to deal with yourself. Let God come into your life. Like this winter. Nice day today. It's beautiful, sunny, and warm. It's good. But how cold was this winter? It was terrible. Well, anyway, a couple of years ago, I switched my electricity provider. Somebody came and said they were going to save me some money over FFWPUNJ. Okay, so I switched over. So last year, maybe our bills for the heating were $400 or $500 a month. So then this year, maybe, I don't know, January or December or January, whatever, my wife says, oh my gosh, you know, we have a bill for $700. Yeah, like I make a lot of money, that's no problem. Anyway, okay. So I did a little work in the house, kind of heat things up. Next month the bill came. Next month the bill is $1,000. And I said, let me see that. So I said, this is insane, this is ridiculous. I can't pay this, I can't afford this, I'm working for the freaking, pay the goddamn bills? No. I said, and it said in my bill that if we didn't have this third-party provider, then our bill for FFWPUNJ would be $335. Okay, wait a minute. So I took the bill, and after work the next day, I went to FFWPUNJ. No line, I got right in, I got even to talk to a supervisor. And I said, what the hell is going on? And I said, is this true? If I was getting billed by you, would I be paying $335? He said, yes. And then he said, actually, this company, this company, the whole town of Bayonne was switched over. And he said, in Bayonne, the lines are around the block, trying to get into the thing. So of course I said, well, you know, I want to switch back. And they said, well, of course, it's not that easy. They charge a cancellation fee, and it takes 3 months to take effect. Okay. Now I'm got like these people are gonna just, you know, just dig into my bank account, like it's gonna charge me a cancellation fee. And I was just like, I was really, really upset. I mean, and then, you know, then I said, you know, then I started being me. I am who you have do not know. And I was just thinking, you know, I'm not going to let you people steal these $1,000. I'm going to fly out to Long Island. I'm going to, you know, buy a bazooka. I'm going to take down Comco's headquarters. I mean, I was like, I said, I got to get the computer servers. I got to liberate all the people that are being ripped off. And I said this vision of me, you know, with a big black building engulfed in flames, and I'm walking away with my black headband, music playing. And then I thought, what am I doing? The people making all the money, because they're making hundreds of millions of dollars, I'm not going to be here. They're in Acapulco, Mexico. I'm going to go, I'll hunt them down, and I'll hunt them down. I'll find these people. Well, okay, that's not very God-centered. And I mean, but you know, I was mad. But I had to grab myself. But I mean, I was done at that point. But I asked myself, and then I sit in my car, I asked myself, what does God want me to think? Well, I know what I think right now. What does God want me to think? And one of the first things I remember learning from Reverend Moon is God hates revenge. Maybe you should try it. But no, God hates revenge. God always has the final word. If you give God the final word, then And Father said, everything we lose will be returned, plus a penalty. That's what Father told me. I had to think about that. I had to think about that. And I said, you know, I have to let go. I have to let go of the results. I've got to know that I can trust God. It's so much easier to punish the bad guys. Destroy Palmco. Burn all the computers. Liberate all the customers from the tyranny of price gouging. But then you have to think a little deeper. Father always said, think one more time. So of course, if I did do those things, if I did go there and bomb the building, I would not get any money back, either from Palmco or from God. And of course, if I did those things, I wouldn't be walking away to the music. I would be either dead or in jail for the rest of my life. And then I wouldn't even see my wife anymore. Which may not be a tragedy for her. Either way, I would definitely lose more than just $2,000. Then I said to myself, you know, what would Father think in this situation? And then I thought about Father going to Humdam prison camp. For those who don't know, in Humdam prison camp, the communists tried to work prisoners to death, working 12-hour days, heavy physical labor, no food, virtually no food, no water, no medical care, no clothes, average lifespan, 6 months. And I thought, Father's in that situation. We know the story. Even he's sharing what little food he has, he shares with other people who are hungry also. Always keeping his mind centered on God, always faithful, always believing. And I thought he's comforting God. He comforted the other prisoners. He tried to be mean with the prison guards. And I said, well, how does someone trying to kill you compare to $2,000? Not so much. So I told myself, do the right thing. Do the thing that is right with God. So I let go of the money. If it's gone, it's gone. For what will it profit a man if he should gain the whole world but lose his own soul? So I called Palmco. And the answering machine said that due to high call volume, I should leave my number and someone would try to contact me within 24 hours. I mean, that looks like they're really running away with the money. But then I went online, and I know my family's not going to believe this, but I registered a complaint online to New Jersey Public Utilities Commission. And I just wrote down the numbers that I considered that I thought that they were gouging the price, and they were ripping people off. And I asked them to prevent them from charging me a cancellation fee. And so pretty much, that was what I thought I could do. And pay the bill. But to my surprise, or even shock, and this is a true story, within 2 hours, there was an email on my computer. And it said it was from the Public Utilities Commission that they acknowledged they got my email. I talk about shock. And then, as if I couldn't get shocked even more, within an hour I got a phone call from Palmco. They called me. I didn't leave any information when I called them. I didn't leave my number. And they said that they were contacted by the Utilities Commission and they wanted to help. The girl's name was Josephine. That's my mother's name. I didn't expect much, and I didn't ask for anything. I just talked to her, expressed my, I didn't tell her what I was doing. But then I didn't ask for anything, but then she informed me that there was no cancellation fee because I already told FFWPUNJ switch me. And she said that she would credit me at my account $320. Let's get back to the sermon. Once I moved myself out of the picture, God moved into the picture. So I know that the Public Utilities Board made the phone call to POMCO. And I know that POMCO called me. And to some people, that may be what happened. But I also know that before those events occurred in the physical realm, another event had already occurred in the spiritual realm. So we have to pick and choose the thoughts that we nurture in our spirits, or be strangled by the weeds going all around us in a world that does not reflect God's Spirit. This is what the Bible means, to be transformed by the renewing of your mind, not conformed to the standards of this world. Of course, it certainly helps to know the man who is already vibrating on God's frequency. Truthfully, if the Public Utilities Board had not made that phone call, or if POMCO had not called me, I would still have been the winner. Because when I moved myself out of that picture, I pulled myself just that much closer to God. So, did I make the right choice?
Yeah.
So what should I say? I say, thank you, Reverend Moon, for helping me let go of taking care of number one. Thank you, Reverend Moon, for helping me choose to be the tuning fork, resonating on God's frequency, like true parents. So no, I really don't know too much about spiritual world, but I have found that the spirit world knows me. So Jesus told his disciples, what is loose on earth is loosed in heaven, and what is we bind on earth is bound in heaven. So I accept Jesus' words, and I think he knows what he's talking about. So if I am making my eternal home in the spiritual world, shouldn't I build it the way I want it to be? Besides, this is a win-win situation. What's good for me in the spiritual world is also good for me in the physical world. Brothers and sisters, choose wisely.